Fuck. Who is it? I'm sorry, what's the problem?
Hi, we have a call that there's been a lot of screaming going on in here. Is everything all right?
Everything's perfectly fine. I'm cleaning.
Okay. Are you safe right now?
What do you mean, am I safe?
Just making sure. There's been a lot of reports of yelling, saying things about harming other people, anything like that.
I'm
Anything
sorry,
about?
what?
Have you been yelling this whole time or anything like that?
Why would I be yelling?
Okay, we're just making sure. So no.
Maybe they're eavesdropping and they shouldn't be listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, there's nobody in here with me, so who's listening?
Okay. All right, that's good. Do you need EMS right now or anything like that?
Do I look like I need EMS?
No, that's why I'm asking. I'm not sure.
I'm standing up and I'm talking to you.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if people don't like what they hear, maybe they shouldn't listen.
Okay.
I have the right to have phone conversations. I have the right to listen to music. I have the right to clean my apartment as I need to in the middle of the day. Can you tell me what time it is right now? It's about 1:45 p.m., correct?
Yes.
So do I have the right to talk to people on the phone or in my head, right?
Hey, we're just here to make sure. Okay, if you're fine, we'll let out. All right.
I'm standing up. I'm talking to you. I'm being rational. I'm being calm.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Maybe they shouldn't listen if they don't like what they hear, right? So the window's open. I'm not sure who's listening. Well, it's the middle of the day. So if people are screaming and shouting, and they're screaming and shouting out on the street, they're screaming and shouting from other units, then maybe they shouldn't listen, right? There's a decibel level that's permitted in the middle of the day. So if people don't like what they hear, maybe they shouldn't listen, right? That's just nuts. Somebody just called the police because they said they heard me shouting. Well, shouting is kind of a subjective term. So if you're singing to a song and you're singing loud, does that mean that you're shouting? Let's see what time it is. It's approximately 1:45 p.m. Okay, 1:43 p.m. So any kind of shouting or singing or noise making is perfectly legal in the middle of the afternoon. And if people don't like what they hear, maybe they shouldn't listen, right? The hate stalking asswipe in 76 is the one who just called the police because the police just said the call was from 76. Somebody in 76 called. So 76 is one floor below with a tremendous amount of dense, heavy duty building materials between the floors. So if 76 can hear what I'm doing in here, then they're trying to listen, right? I'm not screaming and shouting constantly. If I sing to a song or if I'm, screaming and shouting at the walls, well, it's the middle of the afternoon. I mean, there's people screaming and shouting out on the street constantly. I don't see anybody calling the police about them. There were asswipes screaming and shouting below my windows last night until 11 p.m. I didn't notice anybody calling the cops on them, and they were actually disrupting the entire corner. So there's a lot of idiocy and retardedness in the psychopath from 76 who keeps calling the fire department or the police when he can hear me walking around or doing things, right? Like maybe I was singing, maybe I was talking on the phone, maybe I was shouting at the radio, right? I have a radio in my bathroom somewhere. Maybe I was shouting back at the radio because I didn't like what the news was telling me. You have the right to do that, especially in the middle of the day in the privacy of your living space. And when somebody calls the police, they're the one with the issue. All right. There are 75 decibels of noise that are permitted to be made in a residential building during the middle of the day up until 10 p.m. I believe you have the right to play music, to sing, to shout, to talk, to, sing along to the radio, whatever you want to do. You have the right to clean, to move things, to build shelving, to put nails in the wall and hang up your artwork. You have the right to do all that in the middle of the afternoon. This is the same piece of shit who's constantly making slamming and banging noises directly below my bed, who was making slamming and banging noises throughout the morning today. But then they call the police because they can hear me shouting. They just don't like what they hear because obviously they can hear what I'm saying. So there we go. We have an eavesdropper on our hands who's eavesdropping, who's sitting around at 1:45 p.m. on a Wednesday So I'm cleaning and organizing this place because there's another inspection tomorrow morning. I have to get the place ready. The psycho piece of shit in 76, as far as I know, doesn't have an inspection tomorrow and is just sitting around perving and creeping all over everything that I do and say in here. And then when they don't like what they hear, they call the police at 1:45 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Middle of the afternoon, you have the right to make construction noise, to use your vacuum cleaner, to use power tools in your apartment. If you want to hang up shelving, you have the right to do that, right? So if you're going to make noise in your apartment, now is the time to do it. And when some stupid asswipe who has nothing else going on and sits around and eavesdrops on everything you do from one floor below calls the police, then that asswipe is the one with the problem, not you. I can do whatever the fuck I want in here up until 75 decibels of noise in the middle of the afternoon, and that piece of shit does not have the right to call the police. Well, they can, but the police can't do anything, right? I'm not violating any laws. I'm not disturbing anyone's peace because there's more noise going out on the street than there is in here. I have the right to sing at the top of my lungs if I want to. And if that piece of shit can hear it, it doesn't mean that it's too loud. Just because you can hear something doesn't mean that it's too loud. But that reject in 76 who sits around in the middle of the afternoon eavesdropping on what I do doesn't seem to realize that. I'm minding my own business. I'm doing cleaning and organizing. I've been cleaning and organizing all morning. I am trying to get my place ready for an inspection tomorrow morning at my request. So these inspections are not being forced on me. I requested this inspection. It's for the cockroaches and the mice that keep running around in this unit. So that's my request. And I have the right to clean, to sing if I want, to shout at the radio, to shout at my phone, to talk loudly on the phone. Yeah. These pieces of shit are too stupid for words, and that's on them.